Takedowns, where the bottom competitor's chest is facing up. This can land us in the guard, or it can be past the guard inside, knee on belly, mount, whatever the case may be. But the bottom competitor's chest is facing up off of the takedown, must be held for 3 seconds. I'll show some examples. First, we'll do a single leg. Maybe I did a single leg on my opponent. I ran the pipe. Doesn't matter if I'm standing or on the ground. If my opponent is down, his hips are down, his back is inclined towards the mat, and he's now in a guard position, 1001, 1002, 1003, I would get my points, or if I was on the ground, any variation of the guard. Doesn't always mean that takedowns from our feet only get points from the guard. We'll get them if we land in other positions. Let's do a simple double leg. Like if I did a double, I was here, I took him down, and say I landed inside control, I can be over here, but my chest is facing down, his is facing up, and so therefore I would get my takedown points after 3-second count from the referee. A takedown in which both opponents' chests are facing the ground, this is what we call controlling the turtle position, okay? So not all times does my opponent go to his back. Sometimes he goes facing downward, and I have to control the position. So maybe I was doing a single leg again, but my running the pipe failed. My opponent went down towards the ground. In many different variations I can get there. Let's talk about the arms. My opponent's arms cannot be holding my legs, but my variations of how I'm holding my opponent don't matter as long as I'm back here. As a matter of fact, I can even just be hip riding him, right? So my variations of control over here don't matter. What matters is my opponent is not holding any of my legs, not holding this one, not holding the other one. Even though you may get into advantageous crucifix type positions later on, he's still technically in a wrestling phase. So we count this as not in control. Now, if he has my pants over here, like if he were to hold my pants, this doesn't count. What counts is the fact that because he can still hold on to me over here, but he's not actually wrestling or doing anything, and these grips are easily broken. What we're worried about is him actually holding on to a leg, okay, or holding on to my other leg, whatnot, you know, doing leg controls. So when my opponent is down in the turtle position, his arms don't really matter. What matters is his legs. So let's turn a little bit here. So one of his knees have to be down. Sometimes when you go to take a guy's back, he pops up onto his feet, right? Both feet from Orlando. So when he does that, no matter where the position is, I have to make sure that one of his knees is down for my 3-second count for the referee to happen in order for me to get takedown points. Okay, so this can happen at any point in which I have a person who is not going to their back. Another example is a snap down and a go behind. Okay, so like if I were to snap him down to the front headlock, and then I were to go behind him over here, and then I were to control the turtle position, 1001, 1002, 1003, I would get 2 points for the takedown. So that is a takedown where both of our chests are facing the ground, different than when he is in a guard or bottom position and his chest is facing up. Okay, guys, what we're going to talk about is the movement of the bottom guy after I've already received points. Okay, so if I have controlled the turtle, if I'm over here and I've already got my points from the referee, it's different if we're still in a takedown exchange and we're still in continuous motion. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the referee's already gone 1, 2, 3, giving me 2 points for either the reversal or the takedown, however I got to this position. Now, if Orlando chooses to go to reguards, and any different variation of guard that there is, doesn't matter what it is, he chooses to reguard, I do not get additional points because he was still in the bottom position. I was still in dominant position from top turtle to the guard. All other variations, doesn't matter how it is, but he won't, or I won't get additional points for him regarding from the turtle after I have already received points for getting to the turtle. Once a takedown is initiated, somebody is getting 2 points. So what I mean by that is I can do a takedown and stay on top, or I can attempt a takedown and there can be continuous motion and he can end up on top. Shoot, we can roll all the way across the mat and I can end up on top. It doesn't matter who ends up on top after a takedown is initiated. Somebody's getting 2 points. I'll give you a quick demonstration here. So say I'm doing a double leg takedown and I get my opponent down to the ground, but he quickly rolls me over, right? So if he were to roll me over in that transition, then that takedown is still going, then he would get the points because he landed on top. You can take that even further. I know it's an exaggeration, but there's many different scrambles. But if I took him down, and he rolled me over, and I rolled him over. Doesn't matter. I'm the one who ends up on top. After 3 seconds of stabilization time, the referee awards me 2 points for the takedown. So it doesn't matter who initiates the takedown. It's about who ends up on top. Once a takedown is initiated, neither opponent can pull guard. If you pull guard, your opponent will be given 2 points because you conceded the takedown. So once we're in a takedown engagement, you can't pull guard. And I'll show that in 2 ways. Maybe I take a single leg on my opponent, right? And then he pulls guard, right? He decides to pull guard. So once I've already started the engagement of takedowns, he can't pull guard. Neither can I, which means like say I go for the single leg again and I'm having a tough time, I decide to pull guard, right? Whatever the case may be, all the different versions of guard. So the person on top, in either case, once the takedown is initiated, the person on top will get 2 points if somebody pulls guard. The third place I want to talk about getting points from pulling guard is when he closes guard standing. So if I were to, again, let's use the single leg for example, my opponent were to close his guard while I was standing, I wouldn't get points here. I would get points when his head touches the ground or his shoulders touch the ground. I don't have to be all the way down on the ground for me to get points though, okay? But he cannot be suspended in the air still and get points. It must eventually be touching the ground for me to get points. Once takedowns are initiated, an athlete must be free of those grips in order to be able to pull guard without 2 points being scored on them. So what I mean by that is Orlando goes for a single leg. And it doesn't matter how long we're here. There's no time period that has to do with anything here. But once I free my leg completely, his takedown grip, we're no longer in a takedown phase. And I'm free to pull guard or any other kind of variation of guard pull that I want to do, right? So say Orlando grabs a single leg, okay? And he continues to try and go towards a double, but I sprawl on him. Okay, and we're in this position. So long as we're in the front headlock, we're still considered in a wrestling engagement, in a takedown engagement. Even though he may be on his elbows and he may go super defensive, he's able to still wrestle back. That's why we require it for you to be around his arms in order for you to gain his, positional points for controlling the turtle. Okay, but once I'm free of his grips and I'm able to come here, now in many different situations, now we're totally disengaged, and now I can pull guard and start the takedown engagement again if I like, either way. So again, if he grabs a single leg and I free myself, and this could be a double, right? You go for a double, whatever the case may be. I can sprawl away. Once we're back up, now I'm safe to pull guard again. I can do it like that, for example. There's many different ways, but I must be clear of the grips that he was taking me down with in order to pull guard on my own.